Now, this is something I'm all in for. I've said before that Disney has cost a lot of shorter, some dwarf actors valuable jobs. Some of them just trying to get into the business. Imagine the kind of name recognition they would get if they were attached to a Disney movie, even if it wasn't that great of a movie. Just saying that your first movie you starred in was a Disney movie. But instead, they opted the first time to go with seven, well, technically six, regular sized people, and they only had one small person. And then they decided to do this crap. So they cost a lot of people valuable jobs. Again, imagine if your name was attached to a Disney movie. Even if the movie itself was bad, if you were in that movie and you kind of stood out and you did your job well and you were fun and entertaining, that's all they need. That's all they would need. So they cost a lot of people opportunity. But dwarf actors plan protests outside Disney Studios over Snow White exclusion. I don't know how much it's going to do. Probably nothing at all because Disney doesn't care. Disney's commitment to inclusion end at little people? Stay hydrated, kids. As Disney's live action Snow White prepares to theaters this weekend, one group is making it clear that they won't be quietly brushed aside. Dwarf actors are reportedly planning a protest outside Disney Studios over Snow White, calling out the studio's decision to exclude them from the film and instead use CGI replacements for the seven dwarves. Again, they opportunities and job possibilities just wasted. And what's his face? The other dude. The other I know he's gonna be mentioned in here. He wasn't helping either. Let me see, is he in here? Yeah, Peter Dinklage. Yeah, he didn't help anything either. Dwarf actress Ali Chapman didn't mince words, calling Disney's version of the film a total travesty. Her husband, also a dwarf actor, added, "We've been totally shut out, but we're not going down quietly. It's hard enough in Hollywood. Yeah, there's not exactly a whole lot of roles for smaller actors. Everyone's trying to make their dreams come true, and when you're a little person, opportunities are few and far between. I was born to play Dopey." The planned protest shines an even brighter spotlight on what has been brewing a brewing controversy for months. From the start, critics have pointed out the absurdity of Disney. Champions of so-called inclusion deliberately sidelining dwarf actors in favor of full-sized magical beings. Yeah, that picture that they said it was, oh no, no, that was what they were playing. They weren't dwarves; they were magical companions or something, or magical beings. There were seven of them, and only one of them was, a dwarf actor. One of them looked like they were 6 feet tall. Because nothing says Snow White and the Seven Dwarves quite like an actor who's 6 feet tall. That's like throwing me in there. It's like, I'm not a dwarf. I'm 6'4", far from being a dwarf. So it's like, oh no, you're not a dwarf. You're a magical companion. Or a magical being. Magical beings, and after backlash, resorting to CGI. And the CGI looks terrible. It looks terrible. The protest organizer summed it up perfectly. If Hollywood is about inclusion and diversity, then you could have had talented little people actors in all of these roles. It probably would have cost a lot less money than trying to CGI everything in. He added, "This is a moment in history. Equality is a movement. But when it comes to little people, no one in Hollywood is listening." I'm not gonna make a joke about it. I could, but I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to be insensitive about it because it does suck. I understand where they're coming from this with this. You know, they want to, with Hollywood, they talk about inclusion, but it basically just means more black people and less white. They don't care about anyone else. They don't care. Clearly, don't care about the war factors. They don't care. They don't care. They're more concerned about getting as many black people as possible, getting trans people, but everyone else, it's like, fuck them, fuck them. The black backlash was swift, both from fans and dwarf actors themselves. Rather than course correct and hire dwarf actors who could have used the exposure exactly. Disney opted for CGI versions of the dwarves, effectively shutting real actors out of the process altogether. Disney's double standard on inclusion. What makes this even more egregious is how it contrasts with Disney's public messaging. For a company that loudly touts its commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, their actions here tell a different story. Yeah. They want to say that, oh, representation matters, and well, you just had roles, 7 of them, that would have been great representation or inclusivity, and instead you're like, oh, let's just have 6 feet tall magical companions and 1 dwarf. Oh, too much backlash. Well, let's just make them CGI then. That's why no one believes these companies when they say they're about inclusivity, because they do this shit. Dwarf actors, an actual marginalized community, have been excluded from a $300 million live action project that should have provided real, meaningful roles. The protest outside Disney Studios is a clear sign that these actors are done being ignored. And I'm not going to do it. I want to, but I don't want to be insensitive. They're not asking for charity. They're demanding fair opportunities in an industry that often overlook. Please, no, please, don't. No, it's too easy. Too easy. That often overlooks them. The decision to exclude them entirely, now rely on CGI, highlights Hollywood's performative commitment to inclusion. A growing pattern of erasure. This isn't an isolated incident. Hollywood has been growing a habit of erasing dwarf actors and redheads from roles traditionally associated with them. Take Taiki Waititi's Time Bandits remake for Apple TV Plus, which similarly omitted dwarf actors from the cast. There's also Wonka. Yeah, that was completely stupid. Freaking Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa. It looked bad. It looked bad. Like, Deep Roy was the one in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It was one guy who was playing all the Oompa Loompas. So, like, when they're dancing, he's like, yeah, I actually had to go in, like, each position. It wasn't just take me and multiply me. No, he actually had to do it out each and every time for a certain, like, for an entire row or something like that. And then for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, they actually had dwarf actors. But the Hugh Grant one, just like, I remember seeing, I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? What were they thinking? But yeah, CGI altered Hugh Grant. It's so bad. These decisions are being made under the guise of progress, but they end up silencing the very people inclusion movements claim to uplift. It's as if Hollywood has decided that the very existence of little people in films is somehow problematic. Snow White's Snow White Limps Tour, Limps Toured. Its underwhelming box office debut. This protest could be the defining image of the film's legacy. Not a lot of money made and a bunch of dwarf actors protesting it. A reminder that no matter how much Disney preaches inclusion, their actions tell a far different story. Actually, did I skip an entire paragraph or something? Yeah. Yeah, that how the controversy traces back to actor Peter Dinklage, who criticized the remake's initial plans for including dwarves, following the story backwards. Disney, ever reactive, responded to scrapping the seven dwarves altogether and introducing a lineup of non-dwarf, multiracial, diverse, magical beings instead. Um, they should be protesting Peter Dinklage as well. Yeah, the protest seems to be a little bit short-sighted, if you ask me. I'll see myself out. No, I was gonna say. I mean, not gonna. What I was gonna say wasn't gonna be worse, but it was just, you know, short jokes. Just a few tiny little things I wanted to say. Um, but I hope they do, and I hope people see like, oh my god, look at all those little people protesting. I am not gonna go see this movie. They have treated these little people with disrespect, and that's what I hope. It's like maybe these people will see that, you know, these actors had such an opportunity. Like I said, even if the movie was bad, if they had played their roles well and they were a standout character and if people loved them, being attached to this wouldn't have mattered. Their first role possibly is still a Disney movie. Not some indie film, not some low budget whatever. No, a Disney movie. Imagine the kind of, you know, opportunities that they could have gotten from that. So, I mean, I fully go ahead, protest. I mean, I don't think it's going to do much good. The only thing it'll probably do is just cost some sales for, you know, the movie, which who cares? We don't care about that. But I mean, in the long run, I don't think it's really going to make Disney do anything different because, again, in the end, they don't care. They don't care. Certain inclusion is perfectly fine. You know, they're more concerned about, oh, we need to get more blacks, we need to get more trans. But then you have other groups of people. It's like, huh, those people don't even exist as far as we are concerned. We just want more black and more trans, and we need to make them gay. You know. But anyway, yeah. So I'm fully on board with this, and I hope something does happen with them. You know, something good. I hope they do get more opportunities. But small wishing there. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.